People are telling Mr. President to go and sign the Continental Free Trade are only involved in illicit trade. They don't know what import and export is all about. You are looking at a giant. How did we sign the ECOWAS TLS? The book is there. When it came up in 1990, Nigeria should sign the ECOWAS TLS. So we are afraid because the Francophone countries have 8 countries. And before we knew, Guinea-Bissau has joined them. And the other one, what do you call it? Cape Verde, you cannot do anything there without going to Senegal. Nigeria will be left in the cold because the trade policies of Nigeria does not match that of Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Gambia. Liberia is an American thing. And we now say, all right, if we have to sign in stages. Give us the first year for information, sensitization, and registration. CBN was in, that was the time Asabia was leaving First Bank to interstate. We started with a bank, BIB in Benin. We did not work out before we started EcoBank. And we told General Ibrahim Babangida we are going to sign. But what will be the role of government? What are you going to provide for us? Ship, this, that. The organized private sector, what do we need to fly? It's not just signing an agreement. If we sign this agreement, there will be no Nigeria. We are not saying we are not going to sign. Government, put ABCD in place, otherwise it will be illicit. You cannot compete with Morocco. I worked in Morocco for 2 years. You cannot compete with Egypt. You cannot compete with Kenya. South Africa is in a different world. You are the giant of Africa. How many of you talking have done business before? How many of you have traveled by road from here to Ghana? I have traveled from here to Algeria. I've traveled from here to this. Let us be very careful in this country. Government go and sign the Continental Free Trade, but give assignment to each. And at the end of the day, we will see in 3 years, we now begin to measure. Because after the ECOWAS, we started exporting after 3 years. The first country to carry out legitimate export under the ECOWAS TLS is Toyo Glass at Apapa and at Agbara. Better Glass or whatever they call it now. Followed by Nestle. I was the third person in Unilever. Those who are talking, Mr. President, go and sign. Ask them, which business did you do? And how are you going to engage? I am telling the world the truth because of children yet unborn. Today, people are demonstrating in Togo, in Ghana, trying to go back to the Volta region. I can give you the history of every country in Africa. Because when Ghana was getting independent in 1957, Volta region was taken away. The issue of Bakassi and all those are very fresh. Tanzania, that is not the issue for today. The OPS is not respected. They're supposed to be at the forefront. They are the business people. You don't decide for your driver. You only tell him where you are going to. OPS cannot be a minority in a committee set up by the government. Late Chief Griwa will not allow that. The former DG of MAN will not allow that. That somebody who is not into business will now decide on what to do for you. The Chamber of Commerce, the Manufacturing Association, and all that, they have branches all over Nigeria. They pay taxes, they run businesses. The business in Kano is not the same thing. And some of us who have crossed with products across this country, we know what and what it entails. The custom does not go to Ghana port to go and pass entry. The immigration does not go to the airport in Ghana to go and sign papers. All right, what is the role of foreign affairs? In April this year, I was in the villa, and I made it clear that when I was carrying out my research worldwide, I was using the Nigerian ambassadors. When I was in Cameroon, I was giving minor diplomatic immunity. Because there are areas we go to and ask questions, if care is not taken, you will not return back. So the ambassador is officially put there to protect you. All this is we are saying. If the government wants this thing to be signed, put the organized private sector in forefront, then we know we're in business. Not 2 out of 20. The issue of agreement, based on what I said, people just go out of this country to go and sign an agreement. We sign an agreement without backward integration and product development at home. If we are developing our product, go to my 12 and see pineapple, see banana. Can you trace where they come from? Can you put such in a departmental store? The way you see goods coming from China, from Turkey and all that, good packaging labeling, is that how you package yours? Yeah? What give premium price to a product is not just the brand name, it's the traceability where the product is coming from. So if we now look at all that, we have a big gap. We lack the capacity to compete because the managers of tomorrow are not there. There is no institution in this country developing managers. We only develop managers for importation. You can sit in the comfort of your house through the internet. You order for a car in Germany. This evening is brought into this country through an airline. Payment is done through the bank. You only go to the airport or the seaport to clear. But in export, it's a different ballgame. Language is different, distance is different, the rules guiding it is totally different. Which institution? Who is bidding? Who is helping us? So it's just trial and error. There are 4 or 5 levels of export business. One is the farmer. We have 100 and something, we have about 150 universities, polytechnic, technical colleges and all that. Donor agencies. Why are we still importing food? Which technical school is attached to the farmer on seedling or chemical application of fertilizer? The gap is there. There are no linkages. The second level, you are talking of production. What are we actually producing in this country? That we import virtually everything. That we export raw material at a rock bottom price and bring it 10,000. What do you call the other one? That is cashew nut. How much is it from here? It's about 800 to 1,000 US dollars per ton. When it's taken to the Asian country, they just remove the fillings, it's 4,000 US dollars per ton. If Nigeria is getting 4,000 US dollars per ton, do you think that a lot of children will be on the road riding motorcycle? Then the other level is the local market. Most of the things you see in the departmental stores and all that, are they produced in Nigeria? Then, if we now talk of export, have we been able to develop the export market? Which institution? Those who are the engineers in NNPC, did they read engineering in NNPC? Those who are working as experts in Ministry of Agri, did they read Agric in Ministry of Agric? So you don't expect Export Promotion Council to do ABC, they are to guide. What we need now is to put institutions on ground and look for professors and experts to build capacity so that we can take on the world. Signing agreement has not helped. Trade in America, that block is about 40%. In Asia, it's about 30%. In Europe, it's about 70%. In Africa, it's 12%. In West Africa, it's 2%. It's 5% because of the smuggling, illicit trade and smuggling, commodity shunting. We signed all sorts of agreements where where VAT in Nigeria is 5%, Benin is 20%, Ghana is 74.5%. Why are we complaining? Are we not saying we're in the same sub-region? Have we not signed the Continental Free Trade? Why is it not moving? The ECOWAS TLS, how was it done? The agreement was not just signed like that. There were negotiations for years. We were involved. That is why when we now say sign agreement, what is the role of the government? What is the role of the private sector? What is the role of the MDAs, the ministry, parastatals and all that? What is the role of the ambassador? So that there will be leakages, everybody will be given target. Then in 3 years, I'll be able to do this. In 10 years, we are this. But when you begin to assume and deceive yourself, you are the giant of Africa, there are 1.some million, this thing, it's only you are just like a child who is looking at aeroplane flying over the house, say, Daddy, buy aeroplane for me. Can you compete with the South African bloc? Can you compete with the Moroccan bloc? Can you compete with the South African bloc? These are the issues.